Hello! CPAC 2019, I am the end of the program. That's good news. All right, so thank you for staying. I said to them, no one will be here. By the way, wasn't the president great today? I gotta tell you, the guy just got back from flying 3/4 of the way around the world, halfway, twice around. I don't know what it is. I've never been to Vietnam. He's got more energy than the rest of us combined. You gotta give him credit. It gives you an idea of how much energy he has to fight for us. And believe me, he's got some fight on his hands, as do you. And I'm gonna talk to you about that fight. So sit down and relax for a few minutes. I won't take that long. You know, I have a show tonight, 9 o'clock, Justice on Fox News. But who's pitching themselves? Nobody. All right. So here we are at the finale of an absolutely great American Conservative Union's 2019 CPAC, the Political Action Conference that is informative and educational and collegial. It's fun too, with Matt Schlapp at the helm and the wonderful Mercedes, both of whom worked tirelessly to bring you the best speakers. And you got to admit, they were great speakers, and they were. And the funniest MCs, who's the guy yesterday? I got in last night. Larry O'Connor with, what was it, Bellissimo? Was it Bellissimo? That's what I thought. See, even I remembered. Anyway, up-to-the-minute discussions on the most compelling issues that are confronting us at this moment in our history. Everything was on the schedule. Immigration, open borders, the economy, free markets versus socialism, healthcare, guns, U.S. industries, third-term abortion, and free speech. So this conference was a virtual roadmap of all of the issues that you, all of us, will confront as we go into the 2020 election. We've heard from the smart guys, the wise guys. As a prosecutor, that means a different thing to me. I shouldn't have said the wise guys. We've heard from smart people, wise people, experienced people, happy and angry warriors on society's ailments, where we are, where we want to go, and what hurdles we have to overcome to get to where we want to go. And make no mistake, folks, this is going to be a battle royale. A battle not just between socialism and capitalism, not just between the right and the left, but a battle between lawlessness and law and order, between anarchy and respect for society, its rules, and its regulations. Example, we are being inundated by thousands who march toward our borders, breaking our laws, determined to enter a place where they are not invited. They seek to reap the benefits of the most generous country on earth: education, health care, housing, food stamps. But they have no intention of complying with the rules of entrance. Their sense of entitlement, folks, as they wave the flags of their countries that they allege they have to leave because of inhumane conditions, makes no sense to me. They know that once they enter the United States, they are then cloaked by the greatest country on earth with all the entitlements that you and I are entitled to. And if anyone tells you that they don't receive entitlements, you tell them they are flat out wrong. Who was it? Who was that president who said, illegals don't get health care? That's hogwash. Illegals are getting driver's licenses, work visas, housing. They're being educated in our schools, causing a tremendous drain where teachers are now required to educate students who barely understand English. And English-speaking American children are being slowed down because of the influx. And no one talks about the problem in education. It is a nightmare, folks, and our kids are suffering. It is. It's real bad. Now is even worse than that. As they pour in, saying that they need asylum, I want to know, who are they? The prosecutor in me wants to vet them, screen them. I want to find out who among them is a criminal, who among them is a gang member, like the notorious MS-13, who I prosecuted as a DA years ago before he even heard about MS-13. The gang members who arrogantly rode in when Obama was in office by invitation during those Obama years. And they're now in New York mercilessly and savagely killing American children and innocent American citizens. This is their rite of passage to kill us. And just this week, they said they're going to be targeting cops in the big cities in the United States. And we let them in. Border Patrol told me in 2015 that they came in with all the tats that are MS-13. And they were told they had to let them in. To be MS-13, the initiation is you have to kill someone in front of your friends. You have to rape someone and then kill her in front of your friends. These people are animals. The president is right. I don't want to hear that they're children of God. I'll let God make that judgment. I want to know who's a pedophile, who's a sex offender, who thinks he has the right to beat his wife, who does drugs, who's a drunk, who gets behind the wheel of a car when he drinks or she drinks, who's hauling drugs in for the cartel. And if you can prove you're not one of those lists, what other kind of a criminal might you be? And then I want to know, what do you have to offer the greatest country on earth? What do you bring to this great nation that we should allow you to enjoy the cornucopia, not just of constitutional rights, but the cornucopia of entitlements that we all are able to access, but most of us too decent to do so because we believe in work, we believe in paying our own way. And you know, even the president said right here a few hours ago, they got to come in legally, and they have to come in through merit. I want to know from them, why should I be proud to count you as an American other than adding to the Democrats' voting bloc, which is the game plan? The Democrats know that they have lost America. Not just the heartland of America, but the heart of America. They know it. So what are they going to do? They're going to bring in the illegals. They're going to fight to have them counted in the census. Then they're going to get more representative and more electoral college numbers. That's the game plan, guys. That's what they're doing. Now, if you're not one of those criminals, then I just might, allow you to go to the back of the line like everyone else who waited for a visa, who came here legally, who hired a lawyer, who learned an American history, who swore allegiance to this great nation. And only then am I interested in even talking to you about the possibility of your entering. And I, for one, am sick and tired of the sense of entitlements that they have when they enter this country. They immediately claim their constitutional rights as they carry the flag, not of this country, but of the country that they're so desperate to leave. And God forbid we try to deport them back to the country whose flag they so proudly wave. They'll kick and scream and claim their constitutional rights when they weren't entitled to claim them and be here in the first place, and their country will complain too. You can't make this up. This is about your safety and your security. Nothing else. It's not racist. It's not any homophobic, it's or xenophobic, or it's nothing. I'm a prosecutor. I did this for 30 years. I've been a prosecutor, a judge, and a DA. I fought in the trenches my whole life, where the fight between good and evil unfolds. I know the scales of justice. I know the fear that people have. I know the dangers that people present. All I want to know is, who the hell are you, and why the hell should we let you in? Easy question. It's easy. And so the crossers claim they're running from violence in their home countries. Now, are we supposed to believe that every one of them is a victim of violence and therefore entitled to refuge? And why here? Why here as opposed to any other place on the planet? Why not stay in Mexico? I hear it's a nice place. People vacation there all the time. Is poverty justification for illegal entry? And if so, I got news for you. Millions are suffering worldwide from poverty. Haiti, Uganda, Zimbabwe, the Congo, third world countries. So why is it that just Central Americans and Mexicans are the poverty-stricken ones pouring into our country by the millions? Why? Why? Because they can. Because no one has told them they can't. Because no one has stopped them. No one, that is, until Donald J. Trump. He's the one who put on his big boy pants and said, I'm willing to take the heat. Hit me. I'll take it, because I'm in this business. Not because I need a career, not because I need the money. He ain't even taking any money. He doesn't even take a salary, okay? The man declared a national emergency after trying to negotiate with the Democrats. Their job is to obstruct and resist and stop him. And now, he talked about today, I thought it was funny, he talked about how he was alone in the White House. You gotta, I mean, I'd be watching Netflix day and night. I'd be so happy I had nothing to do. I'd watch every one of those series. But anyway, back to the speech. So, and now he is using his constitutional authority, his congressional authority to declare an emergency, which no other president was willing to declare and stand up to the invasion of what is now 20 million illegals in this country. Crazy, more? That's what I hear. I don't know. They don't count themselves very often. And by the way, Michelle Malkin is right. Blaming Congress for not acting year after year. They do practice deceit at your expense and the expense of the United States. She blamed both parties and then got specific, saying, quote, "Yes, I'm looking at you, retired Paul Ryan. And you, Mitch McConnell. And yes, I'm looking at you, Bush family. And yes, you, the ghost of John McCain." And because of all of them, we live with the consequence of sanctuary cities. Sanctuary cities created by the liberal, progressive, socialist politicians who care more about illegals than the protection and safety of American citizens. And if you don't believe me, talk to the angel moms. How about Kate Steinle? How about the name Molly Tibbetts? Do they ring a bell to you? And just last week, as an aside, because I follow the news, an illegal who had been deported, illegally re-entered, and raped a child after being protected by Philadelphia, that good old sanctuary city. Brotherly love, thank you very much. It happens over and over again. Don't be surprised. Just expect more of the same. And as I said, I spent my life prosecuting. Every day, my passion was to fight for the underdog, the victim of crime, the victim who never did anything, didn't deserve it, never asked for it, and all of a sudden, like a thunderbolt that comes crashing through the sky, their lives are turned upside down by a criminal who chose to victimize them. And as a society, we want to heal the criminal. We do nothing to protect the victim. We use them to testify, and then we say, "See ya." But we give the criminal everything he needs, she needs, lawyers, translators, probation, whatever it is, the presumption of innocence they're cloaked with, constitutional rights. In jail, we educate them, we train them vocationally so they can be better members of society. The victim gets none of this. None of it. None of it. That's why I always said it shouldn't be called the criminal justice system. It should be called the victim's justice system. So, why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this because I see too many victims. I now see victims I didn't see before. Victims wearing "Make America Great" caps, being assaulted across this country. An 81-year-old man in a supermarket, a 23-year-old man in a restaurant in Falmouth, Massachusetts, a 23-year-old on UCal Berkeley campus. They are bullied, they are harassed, they are assaulted. No one tries to help them. They are assaulted for simply exercising their First Amendment free speech rights. And we watch as the lawless left continues their hissy fit that they started the day Hillary Clinton lost her crown. Let me tell you something. Those threats and those assaults are all prosecutable. And take it from me, there is no justification for any of that. And more of it is going to happen the closer we get to 2020. And if you assault, punch, kick, knock down, harass anyone wearing a hat whose message you don't like, charges must be filed. And if charges are not filed, you get the hell rid of the DA, whether he or she, you like him or you don't like him, they got a job to do. Politics has nothing to do with law enforcement. because hate is hate. Hate leads to violence. Violence leads to retaliation, and retaliation leads to community unrest. All of this, folks, is out of Saul Alinsky's playbook, Create Havoc. And kudos to the president for saying right here just a couple of hours ago that he will sign an executive order requiring college campuses support free speech in exchange for federal research dollars. That's right. Play hardball with the money, baby. And let me go one past that. The University of California at Berkeley did not protect Hayden, who you heard from this platform as well. They need to be sued. You and I both know that if a lefty was assaulted by someone wearing a MAGA hat, they would have had SWAT teams out there. They would have had helicopters above. The campus would have been on lockdown. We can't tolerate it anymore, folks, and it's only going to get worse. And what took Cal Berkeley 8 days? The guy worked there. They had his face. I mean, my gosh. Anyway, what took so long? And it's predictable that there would be a problem with a Trump supporter on a Berkeley campus, and yet they did nothing. Right there, you got them by the short hairs. But to me, the real victims are the victims who were killed in the so-called third-term abortions. This, my friends, represents the worst cultural shift I have ever seen in the history of this country. The left is fighting, and they are winning the outrageous and the unthinkable, allowing mothers to take the life of full-term babies that are born and are born alive. They call it late-term abortion. I call it infanticide. I know. I prosecuted these cases. These heathens are so inhumane and uncivilized that they proudly announce, like the governor of Virginia, why the hell is he still there? But that's another issue, that they allow the baby a comfort zone while the mother is deciding whether the baby should live or die with an up or down like the emperor in the Roman Colosseum. These heathens, even in New York, stand and give a standing ovation when the bill is signed. They call it reproductive health. I call it murder. It is. And you may even have seen the undercover videos where the selling of body parts of babies, the scraps of the babies left behind, are sold to organizations that are willing to buy them. And the question that is behind us all is, who's next? The elderly? The handicapped? You or me? Now, folks, you got a decision to make, and you got just 20 months to make it. Do you want to live in a country where babies are killed without consequence, without remorse, and with impunity? Do you want to live in a country where criminal illegals are protected by liberal leftists to continue their criminality and not be handed over to ICE? Do you want MS-13 gang members running through this country and into your community? No. Do you want to pay for the health care of people who aren't even entitled to be here? No. Should illegals be given a free college tuition when American kids have to pay? Should they be allowed to vote too? Should they be given licenses that they then use to register to vote? Do you want to live in a country where the left is more concerned about power and control than they are about maintaining the law and order that our founding fathers envisioned? And finally, should capitalism be subverted to socialism? Should people like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, get this, be allowed to dictate whether or not we eat hamburgers and how often we eat them so that she can claim a reduction in emissions, since farting cows have an impact on climate change? They do. They do. Now, this is a quote that she herself said. We are not going to force everyone to go vegan, but we have to address factory farming. And maybe we shouldn't be eating hamburgers for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Like, let's keep it real. Close quote. Should the left be allowed to kill good-paying jobs in the numbers of tens of thousands by corporations willing to bring their company to your town? And all the tangential jobs in addition to those? You can't deny our economy is doing great, that the minorities have jobs, more jobs than they've ever had in the history of this country. Asians, African Americans, Hispanics. American factories are hiring again. That minorities have never seen employment like this. Wall Street is roaring. U.S. oil production is at an all-time high. And the signing of the biggest tax cut package in history is working for everyone. Who wouldn't like this? Who wouldn't like the fact that retail sales went up 6% last year? And Larry Kudlow, he's right too. Put socialism on trial. I'll be happy to prosecute it. And let's convict it. So, folks, the time is now. You don't have a choice. We're at risk of losing everything in this country and losing everything that makes this country great. A nation that has borders, a nation with a strong military, a strong jobs market, and a nation that's willing to protect its citizens. If you believe in any of that, then it's time to get on your feet and start marching toward 2020, because it'll be here in no time. And I don't want you to waste a minute. So you can get up now and you can start marching to 2020. God bless you. The conference is over. Thank you, and God bless America.